Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can build this car here by picking up some car parts. You can actually drop them as well, and then we can attach them and detach them to the car. Great! So let's go! First of all, we will be using the car from the last tutorial, of course link is in the description. As well we need another game mode, so settings, project settings, maps and modes, and we will use the first person game mode. If you don't have it, you can actually add it by hit the add feature content pack, and there you have the first person project template that you can add. Also I add up a widget, so right click, use interface widget. As you can see, it's just a canvas panel with an image. Very important, I called this pointer image as a variable. So as you can see, I just add up this image here, this circle. Very simple, it's just a texture with a filled circle and an empty one. Let's start up with an interact interface, so right click, blueprint interface, and let's call this interact underscore interface. Open this up, this gets one function, interact, and two inputs. The first one will be the actor itself. This is of course an actor object reference, and the other one is the socket as a name. Compile and save this, so we can close this one. Next we go back to our first person arms, to the character, mesh, and open up the skeleton. Because when we want to hold an actor we need a socket. So we go to the root bone here, right click, add socket, and let's call this the hold socket. And I will recommend a relative location of 200 and 130. You can see where we hold the actor later to create distance from the character, otherwise you will collide with the character. Next we will open up our first person character here, nothing special. And let's open up the class settings as well, where we can add up the interact interface. Then we need some variables. The first one will be the interact actor. This is an actor object reference. The next one will be the hold actor as well as an actor object reference. And the last one is the interact socket. This will be a name. Compile and save this. Then we need a begin play event where we create a widget, the widget that we created. So our pointer widget here, we go from the return value and say promote to variable. Let's call this just widget. And at the end we just want to add it to the viewport. Compile and save this as well. Now we need a key where we can pick up some car parts. Let's choose the E key, for example, this one here. Then we take out the interact actor, check is it valid with a question mark. Then we take out the interact socket as well as the hold actor. And then we go from the interact actor and say interact message. On valid, this will be the actor, this will be the socket. Pull this up a little bit here, because now we need an event tick here. We take out the first person camera here, get the world transform. Then we say right click, split structure pin. From the rotation we get the forward vector. Then we want to multiply this one and put this to a float of 500. From the return value we say plus and add this one to the return value of the multiply, and then we say line trace by channel. This is the start, this is the end. The rest can be the same. Then we need the branch to ask if we really hit something. We go from the out hit and say break hit result. Then we go from the hit actor and say does implement interface. We put this to interact interface, so that the one that we created. We need another branch if we have the implement interface. Up here we want to set the interact actor to the hit actor. Down here, so on false, in both situations we want to set it to nothing. Then we take out our widget here, get the pointer image, so our variable, and want to set the brush from texture. Up here we go to our pointer image here, so we select our filled one here, put it up here, copy and paste this down here, and set it to the other one, so the empty one. Then we take out the hit component, get the object name, and set the interact socket up here to the return value. It will automatically convert this value here. And down here we want to set the interact socket to nothing. Next we will create some car parts. So we have our Firebird wheel from the last tutorial. Let's rename this to car part. This will be our parent class later. So let's open this up and rename the static mesh to just part here. We can delete everything inside here. We go to class settings and add our interact interface as well. Then we just double click on it, so we get the event interact here. We get our player pawn, cars to our first person character, get the hold actor, and check if it's valid with a question mark. Then we take out the part here and set the simulate physics to false when it's not valid. Then we go again from the character here and get the first person mesh. Then we say attach actor to component. The parent is of course the first person mesh, and the socket is of course our hold socket that we created. We say snap the target, and keep world, and uncheck the world simulate bodies. Then we set the actor enable collision to false as well for self. We get a self reference. Again, we go from the first person character back to here and want to set the hold actor to our reference to the car part. Then we need another custom event, so add custom event called drop. This will just detach from actor, keep world, and keep world. We take out the static mesh again, set the simulate physics to true. Then we set the actor enable collision back to true. Get the player pawn again. Cast to our first person character. And then we just set the hold actor to nothing. Great, compile and save this. And the good part is, since this is our parent class, we can just create child classes. So right click, create child group and class. And let's call this Firebird underscore real blueprint. Open this up and we just set the static mesh. And then we do this for every car part. So I skip the process and place the actors inside the world. Let's open up our first person character one last time and create another key. For example, the R key to drop something. Again, you can of course choose whatever you want. Then we take out our hold actor here. check if it's valid with a question mark, like that. We cars to our car parts, and then we just call the drop function. Compile and save this. Let's see if this works. We hit play. We walk to the part here, pick it up with E, and with R we can drop it. This is also working, of course, for the door here, like this. Next, we will attach and detach them to the car. First of all, let's open up our skeleton from the last tutorial. So we have our basic sockets for the wheels. I also add up some sockets for the right and left door. And the good part is we go right click, add preview asset, so we can attach the left and right door in the pure view. Let's open up our Firebird here. Nothing special, just a normal car. We need some variables as well. This will be our wheel underscore RR. This is an actor object reference, of course. And of course we do this for every wheel. So this will be wheel FR, and as well we do this for the door underscore left and door right. Also, as you can see, when we go to the viewports, I add up some box collisions. So add box collision here for every socket so that we can collide it and we can attach them. We just have the wheels, and as you can see, we have the door frames here. Also, I add up another box collision on the driver's seat that I call just, of course, driver's seat. You will see later how we can enter the car like that. Let's go to the event graph because we need some functions here. Of course, we start up with the class settings and we add the interact interface as well, like that. And then we go double click, and then we go from the actor and want to promote it to a variable. Let's just call this car underscore part. We do the same thing for the socket, like that. Great. We need two more functions because they are most complicated. We have an attach wheel function. This will get some inputs. The wheel index is of course an integer. Then we have the actor as an actor object reference. And the last one is the rotation from last time. As I explained, we have a float rotation because I need to adjust my wheels. Then we cast to our Firebird wheel blueprint. We take out the vehicle movement component and cast to our chaos wheeled vehicle movement component. Then we want to set the wheel radius. The wheel index is of course the wheel index. And we put this in my case to 36. Then we need the reference to self. As well, we take out our socket here. Then we go from the as Firebird and say attach actor to actor. This will be our parent, this will be our socket here. Then we say snap the target, keep world, and unshake the world simulate bodies. Then again, we go from the Firebird wheel, get the part, so our static mesh here, and want to set the relative rotation. Right click, split structure pin. In my case, I want to set the rotation to the jaw, like this one. And at the end, we get the player pawn again. Then cars to our first person character. And want to set the hold actor to nothing. Compile and save this. Then we need another function, of course, for detach the wheel. We have similar inputs. We have, of course, the actor as an actor object reference, and we have the wheel index again as an integer. Again, we get the player pawn. We just cast to our first person character. We get the hold actor, check if it's valid with a question mark. Then we go from the actor and want to detach from actor. When we not valid, we say keep world, and keep world. Then again we go from the actor and say interact message. We take out the vehicle movement component and again course to our chaos wheeled vehicle movement component. Want to set the wheel radius again, of course this time to 0.01, very important not to set it to 0, otherwise the engine will not accept it. Of course we set the wheel index to the wheel index. Then we take out the socket, say switch on name. And then we open up the details, uncheck the has default pin and set of course the names, so front left, front right, rear left and rear right. And then again we just pull out the variables like that. So this is to prevent that when we hold already in wheel and we have attached it, we can't attach it again to the same spot. Great, so let's go back to our event graph here. First of all, we check for a special case when we enter the car, so we say equal, in this case the driver seat. This needs to match with the socket that you named. Then we connect it like this one. We get the player controller, need a reference to self. Then we go from the player controller and say poses. The pawn is the self, this would be true. Then again from the get player controller we say get enhanced input local player subsystem. We say clear all mappings. And then we say add mapping context. And as you can see, we can choose now different templates. As you can see, this is the first person template, but we want to drive the car, so we choose the vehicle template as an input. So it switches the input from the first person to the vehicle template, like that. And then we go from the socket here and say switch on name, open up the details, uncheck the has default pin, and add of course every carport that we have. Front left, front right, rear left, rear right, left door, and right door. Of course you can add up as many as you want. Connect it here. Then we take out the matching variables. So front left, front right, rear right and rear left. And as well the car part variable like this. And then we check with is valid, with a question mark on every wheel, and call the detach and attach wheel function like that. Of course we want to attach the actor here. The wheel index is in this case 0. In my case this wheel is -90 in a rotation. And at the end we want to set, in this case, the front left to the car part. Up here, the actor is the front left, like this one. And let's do this for every wheel. As you can see, I skipped the process. We just count up the wheel index, as you can see, and set the wheels to the matching parts here. Now we need the last function for left and right door. So we go down here, take out again the car part. We need again a reference to self. Take out the socket. And let's start up with the left door. We check, is the left door valid with a question mark. And go up, connect the left door to the is valid here. Then we course to the left door blueprint when it's not valid. In this case, we want to detach the actor like that. Keep world, and keep world on valid. Then again, we go from the left door and say interact message and keep it like this one. And then we just want to set the left door like that. Down here, when we cause to the left door, we want to attach the actor to actor. Self is of course the parent. The socket is the socket. We say of course snap the target, and keep world, uncheck the world simulate bodies. And then the left door will be set to the car part like this one. And then we do the same thing for the right door like that. And at the end we just get the player pawn again, cause to our first person character. When we want to attach the doors, we go to the first person character here and want to set the hold actor to nothing. Compile and save this. Let's see if this works. We hit play. We can grab the car part, we can drop it, we can attach it to the car. As well, we are not able to attach a wheel to the door frame, and we can't attach it to the same spot, as you can see. And when we're finished building the car, we can go to the driver's seat, get in, and drive around. Great! So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know, and yeah, goodbye.